And that leaves us the rumor mill to talk about, nerds. We have Jason Momoa going for an unexpected reveal. We have the OG Bioshock reboot, apparently, and a Mortal Kombat game that is not a fighting game, all in the rumor mill this week. Let's talk about it.
It's classified.
Hello, nerds, and welcome to the rumor mill. You have found the appropriate cheat code to get to the news before it becomes news. Here, we will discuss rumors in the pop culture and nerdy realm of things. Then we will discuss the probability that those rumors are legitimate. And then finally, probably a little bit of my own personal speculation. If you want the more concrete news that has already become news, then there is a full news show over on the main channel called The Week in Nerddom, which you can find linked down in the description, as well as at the end of this video. Now, let's see what all of those rumor mongers have to say, and which of them are just plain full of poop. Rumor mill also going to be short and sweet, like most of the rest of this episode has been. We have new rumors, no new sources, no confirmations or refutations to speak of. We just have the new rumors to talk about. New rumors are Supergirl is going to kick off new rumors. The movie, not the character. The character we're talking about is Lobo. Jason Momoa's Lobo, to be specific, is said to be getting revealed rather in the Supergirl movie, which we do know is in production. This one, all right, so this one still very much has a lot hanging on other rumors, not the least of which being that Jason Momoa is even going to be playing Lobo, because that has not been officially announced. However, we do know that Jason Momoa has said specifically a number of things pertaining to this. First of all, Lobo's his favorite DC character. Second of all, that he is done playing Aquaman, though he's not done with DC. And third is that he's very excited about the new character he's going to be playing in the DC universe. He's waited his whole life for this. I'm paraphrasing, but that is what he said to a degree. Which is why we're breaking our rule, because again, this hinges a lot on other rumors being true. We're going to break the rule where that can't get us over 50%, but only by a little bit. We're going to say 65% that we will be seeing Jason Momoa Lobo in the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow movie in 2026. Our next rumor has to do with Horizon Zero Dawn, but it's the live-action TV series and not, in fact, the video game. So Horizon Zero Dawn was supposed to be coming out on Netflix, and now we have a rumor mill saying that it has, in fact, been canceled. No reason was given in the rumor as to why they think it is canceled, what behind the scenes necessarily got them to that conclusion. So that's kind of shaky ground to begin with. It's a new source for me, so a more shaky ground. Though some other sources are also talking about it, so I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg at that point. Either way, seems fairly unlikely just because the nature of that game franchise is fairly widely acceptable by mainstream narratives, if we want to get cryptic about the situation. Yeah, so I don't know, just there's quite a bit that rings hollow to this, but there's just enough that I couldn't go all the way out of the question, you know what I mean? So 40% likely that it has been canceled. I don't think it has been canceled, but there's a decent argument to be made. And then let's, continue right on down. We got Bioshock, the original game in the rumor mill. It is being rumored that 2K Games is going to be releasing a revised, an updated version. What was did I write down specifically? Remake, yeah, is going to be a proper remake of the original game for current generation consoles. There's some speculation correlated to this that we'll cover in just a second, but this doesn't, I don't know, it seems like we're a little ways off before, even if this was somewhere in the works, like there's a lot going on there. Oh, fuck that, go back. This is something that honestly, modern gamers who have been playing video games since the Xbox 360, which I would consider still to be fairly modern, in the scheme of consoles at least, this is something that we've been asking for some time. A reboot since the next generation, which would have been the Xbox One, since that generation of consoles, everyone's been asking for a remaster. And it sounds like now we're going to be getting it. This is a video game rumor, so video game sources are usually pretty solid. Also, again, fan outcry has been such a thing for so long. I will be very surprised if it's not being worked on. So we're going to say 80% for the 2K games putting out a remastered version of Bioshock. Then our final rumor for the rumor mill section has to do with Mortal Kombat. It is actually Mortal Kombat game, not a fighting game. Going to be something a little more akin to Shaolin monks, though it seems that, I mean, this is a rumor that's kind of seen many iterations throughout the last, I don't know, decade or so. But the things that seem fairly consistent amongst all of these rumors, and then there's also the little bit of Ed Boon feeding into it, which is why it's a new rumor and not a new source for an old rumor. It's going to be Scorpion and Sub-Zero. And Ed Boon said in fairly uncertain terms that if such a project were to occur, it would be featuring Sub-Zero and Scorpion as the playable characters. So again, the rumor says, we're going to go over this with less rambling. The rumor says that there is a Mortal Kombat action adventure game being worked on currently, and that it's going to be a fire and ice game, so featuring specifically Scorpion and Sub-Zero as the main playable characters. At this point, because Ed Boon is feeding into it the way he's feeding into it, that definitely leads me to believe that we are in fact going to be seeing a fire and ice game in the Mortal Kombat universe. That's epic. That is so badass. 90% likely that this is actually going to be coming around. If Ed Boon had not thrown his 2 cents into this one, I probably would have put this dramatically lower just because of the length of time we've been hearing things like this. But now that Boon's weighing in on the situation, it seems like it's almost everything but a done deal. So there we go. That's what we got for new rumors. Let's get into some speculation bits. I have 2 things that I really wanted to talk about in speculation. First up is the Bioshock story. It seems to me that if this is happening, which fairly certain it is, but there is the off chance that it's not. If this is happening, we won't be seeing it until probably later in 2025 because we are so far out from the next actual Bioshock game, Bioshock 4, that they need to cover the distance a little bit with something, and it just seems like that's going to be the way they go. It's speculative, though, so that is to say, I think it is going to happen. It's just going to be a ways out, specifically sometime 2025. So that's the first piece of speculation. The second piece of speculation is that I think NetherRealm might be done with Injustice games. I don't think that we're going to be seeing an Injustice 3. At the very least, I don't think we're going to be seeing an Injustice 3 game until probably something like 2027, just because they're planning on supporting Mortal Kombat 1 for quite some time at this point. And if they are working on a second game and it is not a fighting game, it is that fire and ice game with Scorpion and Sub-Zero, that's going to take up both the dev teams that exist at NetherRealm. So yeah, I think that is the direction that it's going to go. That's also the end of the Rumor Mill, nerds. So thank you very much. That brings us to the end of the video, nerds. Thank you very much for joining me for the news. Once again, there is a full and probably much more up-to-date and recent episode of the news, the full-length version, if you will, called The Week in Nerddom over on the main channel, linked down in the description, and probably link popping up somewhere around my face right about now. So click on that, go check that out as well, or if you prefer your news in more truncated pieces, then by all means just stick around here and go check out some of the other stuff we offer on this channel. Thank you very much for joining me. We will see you in the next one. Before we go, always remember, nerds, that if it is generally nerdy, it's probably here.